All right, let's see if anybody's awake. Hey, Ginger. Never actually read this book. I've had it for about 5 years, so figured it was time to read it. We're going to read the first half tonight until chapter 3, and then next Monday finish it up. We'll see how it goes. It's Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus. Hope you're snuggled up, ready to sleep, getting cozy in bed. I'm about to have a cat come and join me. Yeah, buddy. Come on. Okay, let's get cozy. All right, chapter 1. Once upon a time, a tiny striped caterpillar burst from the egg, which had been home for so long. Hello, world, he said. It sure is bright out here in the sun. Check out some pictures too. I'm hungry, he thought, and straight away began to eat the leaf he was born on. And he ate another leaf, and another, and another, and got bigger and bigger and bigger. Kind of growing. Until one day he stopped eating and thought, there must be more to life than just eating and getting bigger. It's getting dull. I'm just eating them. The whole leaf there. So Stripe crawled down from the friendly tree which had shaded and fed him. He was seeking more. I guess the caterpillar's name is Stripe. Caterpillar. There were all sorts of new things to find. Grass and dirt and holes and tiny bugs. Each fascinated him, but nothing satisfied him. Feel that? When he came across some other crawlers like himself, he was especially excited. But they were so busy eating they had no time to talk, just as Stripe had been. They don't know any more about life than I do, he sighed. It's kind of a sad start here. Then one day, Stripe saw some crawlers really crawling. A lot of real training. All the sleeves are down here. He looked around for their goal and saw a great column rising high into the air. When he joined them, he discovered ... No crawlers crawling up there. The column was a pile of squirming, pushing caterpillars. A caterpillar pillar. And it's some people's nightmare. It appeared that the caterpillars were trying to reach the top, but the top was so lost in the clouds that Stripe had no idea what was there. He felt new excitement like sap rising in the spring. Maybe I'll find what I'm looking for. Just a massive caterpillars there. Full of agitation, Stripe asked the fellow crawler, "Do you know what's happening?" "I just arrived myself," said the other. "Nobody has time to explain. They're so busy trying to get wherever they're going up there." "But what's at the top?" continued Stripe. "No one knows that either, but it must be awfully good because everybody's rushing there. Goodbye. I've no more time." He plunged into the pile. Kind of like hive mentality. Getting toilet paper. Stripe's head was bursting with a new drive. He couldn't get his thoughts together. Every second, another crawler passed him and disappeared into the pillar. There was only one thing to do: push himself in. Chapter 2. It's like a tea break. See ya. All right. Chapter 2. The first moments on the pile were a shock. Stripe was pushed and kicked and stepped on from every direction. It was climb or be climbed. See Stripe? Stripe. No more fellow caterpillars on Stripe's pile. They became only threats and obstacles which he turned into steps and opportunities. The single-minded approach really helped, and Stripe felt he was getting much higher. But some days it seemed he could manage only to keep his place. It was especially then that an anxious shadow nagged inside. "What's at the top?" he whispered. "Where are we going?" Lots of caterpillars. On one exacerbated day, Stripe couldn't stand it any longer and actually yelled back, "I don't know," but there was no time to think about it. A little yellow caterpillar he was crawling over gasped, "What did you say?" "I was just talking to myself," Stripe mumbled. "It really isn't important. I was just wondering where we are going." It stands out there. "You know," Yellow said, "I was wondering that myself, but since there's no way to find out, I decided it wasn't important." She blushed at how silly this sounded, quickly adding, "No one else seems to worry about where we are going, so it must be good." But she blushed again. "How far are we from the top?" Stripe answered gravely, "Since we're not at the bottom, we're not at the top, we must be in the middle." Good rationale. "Oh," said Yellow, and they both began climbing again. But now Stripe had a new feeling, felt bad. He had lost his single-mindedness. How can I step on someone I've just talked to? Good lessons coming up. Stripe avoided Yellow as much as possible, but one day, there she was, blocking the only way up. "Well, I guess it's you or me," he said, and stepped squarely on her head. Something in the way Yellow looked at him, made him feel just awful about himself, like no matter what is up there, it just isn't worth it. Stripe crawled off Yellow and whispered, "I'm sorry." And Yellow began to cry. "I could stand this life hopping in what was ahead until I met you talking to yourself that day. Since then, my heart just hasn't been in it, but I don't know what to do. I didn't know how badly I felt about this life until then. Now, when you look at me so kindly, I know for sure I don't like this life. I just want to do something like crawl with you and nibble grass." Stripe's heart leapt inside. Everything looked different. The pillar made no sense at all. "I would like to do that, too," he whispered. But this meant giving up the climb. A hard decision. Yellow, dear, maybe we're close to the top. Maybe if we help each other, we can get there quickly. Maybe, she said. But they both knew this wasn't what they wanted most. Let's go down, Yellow said. Okay, and they stopped climbing. They clung to each other as masses of caterpillars crawled over them. The air was terrible, but they were happy to be with each other and made a big ball so nobody could step on their eyes and stomachs. They did nothing at all for what seemed a long time. Suddenly, they didn't feel anything crawling over them. They unrolled and opened their eyes. They were at the side of the caterpillar pillar. Back down. Hi, Stripe, said Yellow. Hi, Yellow, said Stripe. And they crawled off into some fresh green grass to eat and take a nap. Cute. Just before they fell asleep, Stripe hugged Yellow. Being together like this is sure different from being crushed in that crowd. It sure is. She smiled and closed her eyes. Cuddling up. Chapter 3. Too big. All right. So Yellow and Stripe romped in the grass and ate, and grew fat and loved each other. They were so glad not to be fighting everybody every moment. It was like heaven for a while, but as time passed, even hugging each other seemed a little boring. Each knew every hair of the other. Stripe couldn't help wondering, there must be still more to life. It's about to get sexy. Yellow saw how restless he was and tried to make him extra happy and comfortable. Just think how much better this is than that awful mess we left, she said. But we don't know what's at the top, he answered. Maybe we were wrong to come down. Maybe now that we've rested, the two of us can make it to the top. Dear Stripe, please, she begged. We have a nice home and we love each other, and that's enough. It's so much more than all those lonely climbers have. She was so sure. Stripe let her convince him, but only for a while. Stripe's hankering for the climbing life worsened. The pillar haunted him, crawled there regularly, looking up and wondering, but the top remained clouded. Still no idea what's going on here. One day at the pillar, 3 thuds startled Stripe. 3 big caterpillars had fallen from someplace and smashed. 2 seemed dead, but 1 still wiggled. Stripe whispered, "What happened? Can I help?" He made out just a few words. "The top. They'll see butterflies alone." The caterpillar died. Stripe crawled home and told Yellow. They were both very sober and quiet. What did the mysterious message mean? Had the caterpillars fallen from the very top? Finally, Stripe announced, "I've got to know. I must go and find out the secret of the top. More gently, will you come and help me?" Yellow struggled inside. She loved Stripe and wanted to be with him. She wanted him to help him succeed. But she just couldn't believe that this top was worth all it asked to get there. She wanted to get up too. The crawling life wasn't enough for her either. She also had to admit that it looked like the pile was the only way to do it. Stripe seemed so sure that Yellow felt ashamed not to agree. She also felt stupid and embarrassed, since she could never put her reason into words that his kind of logic would accept. Deep. Yet somehow, Waiting and not being sure was better than action she couldn't believe in. She couldn't explain. She couldn't prove anything, but for all her love, she couldn't go with Stripe. She just knew climbing was the wrong way to get high. No, she said, heartsick, and Stripe left her for his climb. Part 4, Chapter 4. And we'll hold off there for next week. I'm tempted to keep reading, but I want to save it and get the good stuff next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Be sure to check out the other events happening on We Will Get Through this week. Got some awesome stuff. And a little live music performance happening on Sunday, so be looking for that. Love you all. Hope you all are being well. And reach out if you need anything. Say bye. Bye, bye.